everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Charmaine and I like to talk about books, unbox subscription boxes, and generally just have a good time. So if you're in for any of that, please comment, like, subscribe, share, and do all of that fun stuff that we like to do here on the YouTube. And today I'm talking about one of my favorite authors. I'm gonna try and lift this up without spilling all of these. So I have a lot of books by her. I actually almost think that I have her entire collection, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's Cecelia Ahern. Is it Ahern or Ahern? 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 So she, most people probably know her because she wrote P.S. I Love You. There was a movie about it. Super good movie if you guys haven't seen it. Fantastic. And yeah, the postscript is like the second book to the P.S. I Love You. And then there's 100 Names, The Gift, Love Rosie, which is actually, this was called something else as well, because I had it as Love Rosie's, but I think Where Rainbows End maybe was the other version, like she changed the title of it. The Book of Tomorrow, A Place Called Here, and The Time of My Life. So I've actually only read about half of these, but I just love her so much. I think she's like the Irish Prime Minister's daughter, or it was something like that. Like her dad was like a political figure, I think in Ireland. So yeah, she has her own like career. I follow her on Facebook. I think that she's fantastic. This is like a Christmassy one. It says, this is The Gift. I'll show you the ones that I have not read, and I will read the little backs to you, and then the ones that I have read, I will give you guys a little review on. So this one here says, Lou Suffren wishes he could be in two places at once. His constant battle with the clock is a sensitive issue with his wife and family. Gabe is a homeless man that sits outside Lou's office. When Lou invites Gabe into the building and into his life, Lou's world is changed beyond all measure. An enchanting, thoughtful Christmas story that speaks to all of us about the value of time and what is truly important in life. So this is a Christmas one. I actually did not know that because I should have read that in December. So now I will read this next December, and I will make sure that I put it like on a list so that I know that I have it so I can read it for next December. The other one that I have here is The Book of Tomorrow by her, and it says, Tamara Goodwin has always lived here and now, in the here and now, never giving a second thought to tomorrow until a traveling library arrives in her tiny village, bringing with it a mysterious large brown book locked with a gold clasp and padlock. And she discovers within the pages, takes her breath away, and shakes her world to its core. And that's kind of it's kind of neat that this guy like doesn't have enough time and is always like doing, and this one's like, I don't care about tomorrow. That's kind of neat that they kind of go together. This one I have read, that I have read, this I have not read. I have to like look at them all to see which ones. I didn't plan out this video. I don't plan out videos, you guys, so I'm just gonna babble to you guys, and that's how I do stuff. So A Place Called Here is one that I have not read. And it says, ever since the day her classmate Jenny Mae Butler vanished, Sandy Short has been haunted by what happens when something or someone disappears. Finding has become her goal. Jack Rudel is desperate to find his younger brother Donald, who has vanished into thin air a year ago. So when he spots an ad for Sandy's missing persons agency, he's certain that she will find the answers and she will answer his prayers and find his missing brother. When Sandy disappears too, oh my gosh, stumbling upon a place where the world is the only way that she has ever known, now all she wants more than ever is to find her way home. Okay, that sounds really good. That I'm gonna have to add that to the list that I want to read. It kind of sounds like a mystery and like, I don't know, a comedy. I don't know. Very cool, very cool. Another one this one actually is the most recent one that I bought from her, and it's called 100 Names, and it says, Kitty Logan has lost her way. As a journalist, Kitty has spent the last few years chasing the big scoops, no matter the consequences. When she makes a terrible mistake, she finds herself mired in scandal, and her career implodes, even her personal relationships are tested to the limit. Have you guys read any of these books? Like, do you know Cecelia Ahern? Can somebody tell me how to pronounce that? Because obviously I don't know, and I'm just gonna keep saying it wrong. That's how I do it. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have read any books, and like, are these your kind, like, do you like these kind of books? Like, they're one-off, they're contemporary, sometimes there's a mystery, sometimes it's comedy, sometimes it's like a life lesson. I don't know, they're pretty, like, I'm pretty excited by her. And I just realized that I've, like, not read more of them than I have read. So that's the thing. Postscript is the second book to P.S. I Love You. I have not read it yet. So I will tell you about P.S. I Love You, and then I will just let this hang out over here, and I guess I'll read it to you. I don't know. So, P.S. I Love You was a book, or a movie first, and this is actually how I got into this author, is because I saw the movie first. And if you've been on my channel before and you've seen any of my book videos, you know that I like to see the movie first, or the TV show, or whatever it is. I like to do that part first, and then I like to read the book after, because I find them to be like two separate entities that way. And I'm never disappointed by the movie or the book, except for Timeline. Timeline knows what it did. Timeline the movie and Timeline the book could have been called two very, very different things. I'm very angry about Timeline, and that movie came out like 18 years ago or whatever. So it's been a long time, and I've held a lot of anger since then. It knows what it did. I'm not kidding though, seriously. I don't like Timeline. I like the book, I like the movie. They're two very separate things. So for this one, they were childhood sweethearts. No one can imagine when Holly and Jerry without each other, until the unthinkable happens and Jerry's death devastates Holly. Essentially what happens is, I think, did he get sick, or yeah, I think he gets sick, and then he passes away, and they've kind of been putting off like doing stuff in their lives, like moving or like having kids or whatever like that. And then when he passes away, he leaves her these letters and like kind of like makes her live her life and do the stuff that they were putting off, which it's such a good, it's a good book. It's a good movie. It's amazing. I'm pretty sure if you've seen P.S. I Love You, you have cried, because like we all did. It was so good. And the book is like, there is some different stuff in it, obviously, because they can't like film the entire thing, but it's amazing. So I do highly recommend this. If you guys have not like heard of this or have not read this yet, please like try it out. Or if you have read it, please let me know what you think about it. So for this one, it's part 2, and this is, there are 6 words written on a card handed to Holly Kennedy. They're the words that engraved on her heart, because P.S. I Love You is now her husband Jerry, is how her husband Jerry signed his last letters to her, letters that mark the year she will never forget. Now a mysterious club wants something from her, and if Holly can find the courage to meet them, she'll learn what she really means to live life to the full, because every story has one last thing to say. So I am actually excited to read this. When I read this, I think I'm gonna read like this one, and then this one. Maybe I'll do that for like February, because that's kind of like a Valentine's-y kind of like story, like a romantic thing. I don't really like romance books that much, but I have always changed like my flavor of what I'm gonna read kind of like a little bit. Like I used to really like Henry VIII and like Anne Boleyn books and stuff like that, like all of that historical romance kind of thing that were like based on like true people but like not true events kind of thing. I loved that. I used to read those all the time. And then I got into YA fantasy, so now like that's what behind me the most. Like that's what I like the most. I was into Stephen King for a while, so I would just like read horror books for like all of the time. And then I read a horror book that scared me so bad that I have not read a horror book since then. It was terrible. It was terrifying. I don't know what it was called. It was a very long time ago, but I pretty much stopped reading horror books because of that. I have read like kind of a couple of not commentaries. The books that are set in this time, contemporaries, that's the one I was trying to say. I have read like a couple of them, but not that many actually. I like there being like a mystical thing, or like a vampire kind of thing, mystery, magical, like that kind of stuff. That for me is like, oh, in reading, because I'm already living my contemporary life technically, so I mean, I can't make like magical stars come out of my hands or, you know, fly. So I like to read about stuff like that because it's something that I can't do. And the last 2 books that I have here are The Time of My Life. This is my one of my all-time favorite books of all time. It's so good. And Love, Rosie. So Love, Rosie actually did become a movie, I think, but I had read the book before then. And what it is, in the book, it has it so like, they meet when they're kids, and then they write each other letters back and forth. So it's told from like 2 different perspectives, but it's told through letters. And then like kind of how they separate. It's Rosie and Alex are destined for each other. Everyone seems to know it but them. Best friends since childhood, they separate as teenagers, and Alex and his family relocate to from Dublin to Boston. Like two ships passing in the night, Rosie and Alex stay friends, and through the years and weddings, funerals, baptisms take place, the two remain firmly attached via emails and letters. Heartbroken, they learn to live without each other. But destiny is a funny thing, and in a novel of several missed opportunities, Rosie and Alex learn that the fate isn't done with them yet. So it's actually such a good book. I had only heard about P.S. I Love You from her when I found this book, and then I bought it and I like read it like instantly. It's so good. It's so much better than the movie. Like, so much better than the movie. I think I've only watched the movie once because I was like, oh, it's kind of disappointing. But it's really, really good. So yeah, if you get a chance to pick this up, or like any of the books by her, have you read any of these books by her? I feel sometimes like, you know what? I started this YouTube channel so that I could just babble to people, and hopefully one person would see it and like chat with me about it. So yeah, fantastic. And please, if you have read these books, or if you know these books, or if you like these books, please comment in the description and then, or the comments, and then we'll chat about it because I think it's awesome. And this one here is my favorite. This is Lucy, and I can't pronounce Silchester. She's busy herself with the, oh, are you taking your life for granted is what it says first. And then it says Lucy Silchester is. She's busy herself with other things, friends' lives, work issues, her deteriorating car, that kind of thing. But she's stuck in a rut and deluding everyone. Only Lucy knows the real truth. Time to wake up. Time for a wake-up call. Wow. A meeting with life. And life turns out to be a kindly, rather run-down man in an old suit who is determined to change things and won't let Lucy off the hook. So essentially what it is she's kind of like, I don't know if she's like avoiding her family, but it's something kind of like that. And there's like an actual person who comes to her and is like, you need to start following these things because you need to start living your life. So essentially he's like her moral compass, and he's like making her do stuff to actually live her life and stop like avoiding things. So she starts having to tell the truth. She starts needing to get her car fixed. She has to like face difficult truths that like she doesn't want to deal with. She has to like spend more time with her family, and she doesn't like 100% get along with her family and like stuff like that. It is so good and so comical, and like honestly, I've read this book a couple of times, so I can tell you guys like it really, really is one of my favorite books. And I feel like every time I read it, it teaches me something new, if that makes sense. I don't know. Do you guys have that when you read books? Do you reread books? I have so many questions. I hope somebody answers me. Anyways, yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to babble about some books, and that's what I chose to talk about. So thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes of your day with me. I will see you guys in my next video. Please comment down below. Okay, bye guys.